Exiles. It's very early, day 14 here in the new Keepers of the Flame Path of Exile League. And a lot has happened since yesterday because GGG dropped kind of a bomb on the build by changing the best shield for this build by making a Foulborn Empress Vigilance, giving 22 maximum quality. So you can see the defensive numbers on this shield up here is 2,572 armor and 539 energy shield, which is quite a bit higher than the otherwise highest armor and energy shield version of Empress Vigilance that the game had before. So this one has been put on the sideline because I obviously had to try out this new toy and see if I could make it work, because it's not just all upside on it. The shield is losing the chance to block spell damage, and that meant I had to move a few pieces around. But things have really come together, and like this giant puzzle that suddenly just everything just fits together. So it felt really good seeing that. But let's go over the numbers. I'm level 99. If you check my in-game tooltip down here, it's a 3.3 million. It's just an indicator. If we quickly check in here in Path of Building, you can see I'm at 33 million, 133 million. But there's a lot of things going on, so I'll explain that in a minute. But let's check the numbers here. My spell suppression chance is at 44%, but since it is lucky, it translates into, I think, 68%. Then I have 84 fire resistance, 85 cold, 84 lightning res, 75 chaos res. Then my chance to block attack damage is 65% and 65% to chance to block spell damage. Stun avoidance more than 100%. Enemy crit extra damage reduction is only at 10% right now, but that's because my endurance charges aren't up. As soon as I start getting my charges up, which I do almost instantly when I start hitting things, then I get a 110% enemy extra crit damage reduction, so I'm immune to crits as well. Then I have 106% chance to avoid ignite, chill, freeze, and shock. This also applies to alternate elemental ailments, so it also counts against brittle, sapped, and scorched. And then I have a 121 movement speed modifier. So just walking around, this is the pace. And if I activate Blood Rage, you can see my shield charge is really quick at moving around. And then, of course, I also have Flame Dash in the mix as well. So some good mobility on the build as well. Then there's a lot of changes going on here that I want to go over, but I'll do that later. I've also crafted a couple of new gear pieces. But let's go into the PoBs, so you have some tangible numbers to relate to. First of all, you can see I'm at 133.5 million tooltip, but you can also see I have way too many points allocated, and that's because there's a mess going on over here. So let's get this out of the water first. So I have a Foulborn Unnatural Instincts over here. And it says that allocated small passive skills and radius grant nothing, and grants all bonuses of unallocated notable passive skills and radius. This second line is currently not supported in Path of Building. So if I remove all of these nodes, you can see my total number of passive points falls down to 122 out of 123, which fits with a level 99 character. And in order to simulate the effect of the Foulborn Unnatural Instincts, then you can see the small nodes, they don't do anything. My life total is the same, whether they clicked on or not. But if I click the notable here, something happens. So you can see my my level and the amount of passive points is accurate here in first. So in order to simulate the effect of the duel without having to type in everything manually, I just click these and call it a day. So you can see this is the explanation. So this is how this works. You can also see that I have 3 large clusters in the build, and Then I have allocated a few more masteries, and I've moved things around since yesterday. But let's go over the configuration so you can see I'm not cheating on anything, so everything is as it should be. Without any power charges, I am at 92, almost 93% crit chance, but since I'm using Assassin's Mark, then whenever I kill anything that has been marked, I get a power charge for 20 seconds, and I also have a chance to generate power charges on hit against let's go here in game so you can see it. You can see here I have 5% chance to grant a power charge when hitting a cursed enemy. So I can pretty reliably keep this up even on single target and boss fights, because whenever I've hit the boss 20 times, then odds are I'll get a charge, and then I just need to hit it 20 more times within the next 20 seconds in order to keep it up. So I think that's fair to have it here. Frenzy charges, I have those all the time. Same thing with endurance charges. Then nothing checked here. Rage at 30. I am leeching because I've hit something. Then if I've killed recently, I get 10% more damage from it. I say I have one nearby enemy, so this is against bosses and when there's only one, but let's say there's 10 monsters on the map, you can see the damage goes up by quite a margin. I'll explain this in a second. So let's say put it at that, and then I don't have anything specific down here. So close range, bleeding, and intimidated. I can do all of those things, and then I can put maximum effect of pride, and then I'm up to 170 million combined. But I like having the bare bones of my damage, so let's keep it at this. Yeah, these are the numbers, and it's 84 Guardian Pinnacle boss, and no custom modifiers over here. So you can see these numbers are fine. Then you can also see here I'm at a spell suppression chance of 68%. So let's go in here because it's a nicer interface with better visuals. So this is a new acquisition, a large cluster here with all tier 1 modifiers. So you can see here it's perfectly rolled even. So this was a really costly piece. It's one of the last pieces that I bought, but I needed 10% more chaos resistance compared to the old one that I used, so I had to put this one in here. And you can see I'm just at 75% chaos rest, so I was at 65 before, so it was nice being able to fit everything in. Seething Fury here, which goes with the combination for Emperor's Vigilance. Watcher's Eye, increased attack speed while affected by precision, and then some chance to impale enemies on hit while using Pride, and also impales last additional hits while using Pride. So I'm of course using that aura. Second large cluster over here is the flat life is not tier 1, so I can probably get like 70 to maybe 100 life more onto the build if I buy a perfect one with all tier 1 modifiers, so like just another copy of this one over here, but it's fine, so it gets the job done. Then I have a set of Forbidden Flame and Forbidden Flesh, so if we go back in here, you can see those two jewels allocate Fortitude, which says that I am always at maximum fortification. And just a quick note here, you can see I'm at 23, which is a really nice number. And 45 reduces incoming hits with 1% less per stack of 45 that you have, so it is 23% less damage taken from incoming hits. Then I have the last large cluster up here, and this is actually for notables because I needed some way to have my hits having a chance to ignore enemy physical damage reduction, because the maps that I'm running, sometimes monsters can get up to 80-90% physical damage reduction, and since I only deal physical damage with Shield Crush, then I needed some way to bypass that damage reduction. So Iron Breaker gets the job done. I also needed 2 dual sockets, so that was a way to do that. Furious Assault is just something, really. It could be other things, really, but Iron Breaker is important. Then I have a small, well, not just a normal Viridian Jewel up here, and it gives me some life, takes care of my mana leech. There's a little bit of damage onto it, and then there's a little bit of resist as well, because if I remove this, then I only have plus 11 fire resistance over my my max at 84. So I want a little bit more breathing space or overcapped resist in order to negate if I get elemental exposure onto me or get cursed by elemental weakness. This one down here is a Corrupted Storm Shroud. It says modifiers of chance to avoid being shocked applied to all elemental ailments. That is how I become immune to all elemental ailments. And then it has the Corrupted Implicits. Hits have 15% chance to ignore enemy physical damage reduction. So along with Iron Breaker, this gives me a 65% chance to ignore enemy physical damage reduction. So that's a really good number for a minor investment. Foulborn Unnatural Instincts. I've already gone over that in the preview, well, early in the video. And then I have a Lethal Pride here, which has proven to be way better than I initially thought, because I didn't plan on using Assured Strike, which gives 15 melee crit, and I didn't plan on Forceful Skewering either, which is another 15 melee crit multi. And Deflection wasn't on my list either, actually, at first, for when I checked it. So 30 crit multi and +1 maximum fortification, just pure bonus. That's really nice. Up here, it's some increased melee damage. Could be better, but it's fine. And then I have a nothing node here. Then there's +1 to fortification here. Gain 1 rage on melee hit, and this takes care of all my rage, because I have Admiral's Arrogance, which just need me to generate rage, and then at some point I'll get up to maximum, and then I'll just stay there. This one here is some crit chance, and some more maximum fortification, and some more crit chance down here. So this is a really, really good seed. So you can copy it if you feel like it. For the masteries, I have crit multi per maximum energy shield and shield, more attack speed with offhand, Runegraft of the Sinistral. This is just some armor and evasion rating per charge, so it's not that important, but it gives a lot of survival as well. And then 100% increased charge duration. This is important, otherwise I cannot sustain frenzy charges, because the default duration is 10 seconds and I gain 1 charge every 15 seconds. So getting up to 20 seconds for the charges makes life a lot easier. And then the mastery here is 5% increased attack speed per enemy in close range. This is really neat when you're getting boxed in and overwhelmed. And I'll showcase how impactful this actually is. And in case I have a map where monsters block all of my attacks, then I can just go monsters cannot block your attacks, skill this, I lose a little bit of damage, but then I can completely ignore that modifier on the map. So it's real neat having this one here. These nodes by themselves are not very good, but the attack mastery is really good. Then I have Spell Suppression Mastery here, saying my chance to suppress spell damage is lucky. And then I really like the node over here, because it gives me a lot of flash charges, because suppression. So that's the rundown of the build, but let's have a look at the gear pieces, because I've changed a couple things in order to accommodate all the boxes that I wanted to check here. So this is the same as the previous video. It's a really easy craft. You just get a Fractured Rapier, and then you use Essence of Dread to force the Impale effect onto the weapon, and then you just do that a couple of times until you have an open suffix, and then you can craft damage per endurance charge. So really simple and very, very potent weapon here. Then I have a new helmet because I had a little too much resist on my build, and then I could get a little bit more armor and evasion rating because this base is better than the previous one I had. So that's a good upgrade, and it also has like a little bit more life. I think like 20 more life than the previous one, so it all adds up. Then I have a really nice amulet here. The way this is crafted is that I bought a bunch of amulets with only one prefix, being the flat life, and then the 2 crit modifiers, and then some value on the resist. And then I just put on Warlord Exalted Orbs until I hit something good. And in this case, in a couple of tries, I hit tier 1 increased damage per endurance charge, so that was really neat. I'd like to have some more life on it, but I mean, this is really good, so I'll just be sticking with it. Then there's the Foulborn Emperor's Vigilance, which is probably the best in slot option for the build right now, so that's nice. Then I have Dark Ray Vectors. I have gone over to a chance to suppress spell damage and maximum life version of these, and these are extremely potent, but they're also volatile in the way that if I don't have any frenzy charges, you're just really slow, but because I have 11 charges, I get 55% increased movement speed from these boots, and also the +1 charge is a lot of damage when everything comes together. Then there's Mage Blood. I could probably get a better copy if I wanted to get a little bit more fire and cold resistance, and then maybe if I got good rolls there, I could get a little bit more lightning resistance, but I mean, it's fine. Then there's the Admiral's Arrogance. Corrupted, +3 to level of all melee skill gems is important, and so is the +1 to frenzy. So you can see Shield Crush is at level 24 here. If it's not, then you can see it only gives me 8 to 12 added physical damage per 15 armor or evasion rating on shield, and that's only 0.7 meters to radius. So if I get it to level 24 by socketing it up here, it now gives me 10 to 15 added physical damage, and there's a little bit more radius as well. So going from 23 to level 24 roughly increases the damage of Shield Crush by 25%, and you get some more area of effect as well. So then we have a last piece here. I made a new ring. I bought another one, so I didn't want to break the first one I had, and then I bought a bunch of Scorn essences, so I could force on the critical crit multi onto it, and then I think I spent like 8 or 9 divines just buying those essences and just keep on rolling. And then eventually this happened. I had to annul away one bad suffix from it. It was a life leech, so the odds weren't good for it, but it landed, and I'm really happy with this ring here. It's so good. So I could try and slam for the last prefix, but I think it's actually better just as is, because in case that I want to change to something on the prefix, then I'll just keep it as is. But this is really good. But yeah, this is a really strong build now. It's by far the furthest I've ever taken a character. I need to go over the graphs here as well. So if I go into offense here, you can see I'm at 100% chance to impale with offhand hits. Sorry. So this one here gives me 3% additional physical damage reduction, and the skill Tender Embrace doesn't really do anything for me, but maybe if I go to low life and it gives me an endurance charge, but not really. I use this for the 24% chance to impale enemies on hit and the physical damage reduction. This is what this is for. Then this one over here is the one which holds a lot of value onto it, because it has 11% chance to impale enemies on hit with attacks, getting me to exactly 100. And then 15% increased maximum life is a massive bonus as well, giving me a lot of survival. You can also get chance to impale with hit here on this one, so that allows you to skill very differently on the tree, but these are super potent. And then you can see Violent Desire gives me even more damage with the impales when the buff is up. So the cooldown time is 16 seconds, and it is a little shy of 8-second base duration. But I have increased cooldown recovery rate on it, and also some increased skill effect duration on it. So it's not up all the time, but it's up like at least 2/3 of the time, maybe even 3/4 of the time. So that is pretty substantial damage boost. But if you rewatch the boss fight, you can probably tell when it's up and when it's not. For the flasks here, I have a ruby flask giving me chance to avoid being stunned. So this is why I no longer have all my tattoos allocated with all of these passive nodes here being allocated with tattoos, giving me 10% chance to avoid being stunned per each of these nodes. So I've gotten the dexterity back from that. This flask here allows me to do that, just that, through Mage Blood, and then it gives me some max resist as well. Then I have my chance to avoid being shocked during effect, and if I remove this over here, you can see that's 106%. It is the only source I have for it. And in conjunction with Storm Shroud, this gives me avoidance to all elemental ailments. Then a Topaz Flask here. This is for maximum lightning resistance and some extra armor. So you can see I'm at 21,000 armor here. It goes down to 14. I'm at I think at like 32, right? No, 34,000 armor when I have my endurance charges up. So it's a substantial number there as well. Then lastly, I have a Silver Flask giving me Onslaught, and then there's some increased critical strike chance on it as when it's active. So I had to do a few tricks here. So I got I forgot his name, but there was a very nice guy on my last video who told me that if I didn't go that much into blocking for defensive measures, but it was more to keep charges up, then I could allocate Versatile Combatant instead of using the Block Mastery for chance to block spell damage per 5% chance to block attack damage, and using Tempest Shield. So really, thanks for that, dude. That was really amazing. So I of course went down from 75 block, but I gained a little bit more freedom into the build, which has enabled me to get a lot more value in there and a lot more damage as well. So I went through a lot of different Dark Ray vectors here. The +1 to socketed gems was in order to get higher Enlighten to try and get more stuff in there, but didn't really work out. Several flasks, experimenting with like reduced curse effect, but then I needed the stun stuff, and yeah. Then I tried doing charges and life recovery on block with small clusters. I bought a bunch of Megalomaniacs in order to try and fit everything in. And then just the comment saying, why don't you try Versatile Combatant, just negated all the troubles that I had with the Tempest Shield and getting everything together here with the spell block. So that was, I mean, such a key piece here, really. Then there's my old large clusters here, because I have so much elemental resist from the flasks here and Mage Blood, so I didn't need the 5% to all elemental resistances on these nodes, and same with this one. And yeah, I used this for maximum fire resistance before, and along with Melting of the Flesh and Purity of Fire, but again, the way things have been coming together, it was a waste trying to use Melting of the Flesh, so I've sidelined that again. But yeah, this is a super potent beast of a character. I have never pushed a build this far before, and I mean, just look at the numbers here. They are pretty close to ridiculous. I mean, you can get more effective hit pool, you can get more damage, but this was my league starter, and I I haven't been forced to do anything weird. I just took this one and then I just kept playing it until yeah, it became this. So yeah, a lot of talking on my part. Yeah, I usually say that at the end of a video, but this was really a lot of talking. And if you're stuck this long, I appreciate the time. I hope that you get a little insight to how you can build a character like this. And on the playlist you can see how I've gone from day 1 and well to day 14 here, and how the build has been put together. And well, after this I'll add a showcase of the last tier 17 that I ran, and just to make absolutely sure that you do realize it, I'm using Unending Nightmare in tier 17 maps, and I don't die. I also use Endless Tide for some extra beyond spawns, so but you can see that in the gameplay as well. But Unending Nightmare in tier 17 maps with all the explicit nodes allocated on the Atlas tree. I mean, you need a sturdy build in order to pull that off. So yeah, enjoy the map showcase, and thanks for sticking along this while, and have a good one.
Death will never come near me.
got some wealth for you.